what is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Blonde Ambitions Podcast. I'm so excited. Today, I have such a fun guest. He's an actor. He's also my friend, and he also has his own podcast called The Grind is Real. Today, you guys, I have Gabe Uribe. Welcome in, Gabe.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. On social media, just like comments on posts. So it's good to actually like sit down and talk to you because we're friends. So
Yes, we are.
yeah. And we've done some things together. And so I'm excited to just like sit here and talk. Gabe, welcome in and
Thank you.
tell us a little bit. I mean, I guess we met at the Jig Grill's Christmas party?
Yes, we officially, physically met at the Jay Grills
Yeah.
Christmas party, which was awesome because, like you said, we've been connected through social media, through HWC for quite some time before that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, it felt like a coming home, like a reunion for everybody. We're like, oh my God, this is Diana King in the flesh. And,
Yes,
it was
oh,
just
it's great. Yes. And you got to meet my husband and like all
exactly.
that. So we all got to hang out and it was
Yes.
a really fun night, actually.
It was. And it was cool, like, because you see everybody on these boxes all the time. And to,
Yeah.
like, actually put the face to the box, so to speak, was just
Like on the Zoom meetings?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God, you're a lot taller than I thought you were. Or, you're a lot, in my case, you're a lot shorter than I thought you were.
Wait, did you think I was taller?
No, I thought you were taller than I thought you were going to be.
Oh, really? I was probably
Yes.
wearing heels though, Gabe. I mean,
I
come
think
on.
So, but it was nice to finally, and I feel like once you like connect with people like that, it's up and up from there. I mean, we created
Yeah.
our little documentary together, and it was awesome knowing that we've met each other in person. It was, a great seed to plant and then go on in the future and create something together.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, I agree because then it was like we did the HWC film thing and then my mind immediately goes to like certain people and you were one of those
Exactly.
people and I was like, I'm going to see if Gabe wants to do it, and we ended up getting like such a good little group together. It was so much
Yes.
fun, which I think that like our documentary was pretty good. I thought it was
It
great.
was award-winning. What are you talking about?
It was. Which we actually had like a totally different idea in the beginning. We were going to write this horror film, very like campy, like over the top. And I still kind of really want to make that because the script was actually really funny. So I
Me
don't
too.
know.
I'm still holding on that one. So you guys know, whenever you need me, dial me up and I will.
I know I need to get with like Shannon and Marianne and see what they want to do. And so talking about that, like how did you get into acting? How did all this start for you?
Well, how did I get into acting?
Such a loaded question, right? Just in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, as a child, I did a couple of school plays. Naturally, I do come from a Mexican American background, and the arts is not high on the priority list, which is okay. But so I was kind of on a path of going to school, going to college, and truthfully, I wasn't really happy during that time because I knew in the back of my mind what I really wanted to do. I would go to the movies and stuff like that, and I would just have this feeling inside of me like, I want to be up there. Or, I would see a play and be like, I want to be up there. And it was kind of a scary thought because that meant that I was going to have to sacrifice one to pursue the other. And,
Right.
When COVID came around, I saw it as my greatest opportunity to actually leave school. I dropped out of college. And even though I know the world was kind of like closed off, I was very much like, this is my opportunity to go for this because I have nothing else to do. There's no, it was a little of an uphill battle with my parents because of course I dropped out of college and, they really wanted me to get a degree. I'm a little bit different where I don't see things the way other people see things all the time. And, I did have to make that decision for myself. And that was March 2020. And I feel like I made a very good deal with myself thus far.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into it. I took a chance. I had a dream. I'm a kid from the other side of the tracks, and I wanted something different for myself, and I wanted to live the life that I saw myself living with the utmost fulfillment. So here I am.
Yes, I love that. It's so, and you're right. You do have to kind of do some sacrificing in other areas in order to pursue anything really, but
Mhm.
especially something in this kind of a business.
Exactly.
There's such an unknown. We don't even know, first of all, we're going to get work, all
Exactly.
these classes we take. So it's also nice to have life outside of that too. Like, I feel like
Absolutely.
that's so important too, which I had to learn because when I came back to acting, it was like I was so just go, go, go. And I mean, I still am, but I've learned to like,
Balance.
yes.
Yes. Oh, it's hard. I mean, even for me, some weeks are better than others. And you get in these modes of kind of like, oh, especially in the world of social media. I feel like it's so easy to fall in that trap of not of feeling like you're not doing enough or not enough to the next person, which it's like you're doing whatever you're supposed to be doing because that's your journey and your
Mhm.
not anybody else's. And like you said, I've had to learn that myself too. I've had a few come to Jesus moments where it's like, just slow it down. Enjoy the process. Not
Yeah.
everything has to be on a timeline. Because funny enough, it's never gonna happen on your timeline. It's just not. I mean, and I yeah, so I completely understand Diana. And going back to a little bit about like my journey on becoming like an actor, I told my mom one time, I was like, about you saying, oh, this is crazy. It's the unknown, the gamble that we take on ourselves. And I
Mhm.
told her, I was like, don't you think I would be happy being a teacher or, something where you go to school for 4 years, there's an end goal, and then that's your career, anything that has some sort of stability and security. I was like, don't you think I sometimes I lay awake at night thinking that, but that's just not for me. So believe me when I say I'm crazy enough to go for this because it's something that I actually want to do.
Yeah, and she was supportive in that, because it was
Of
something you
course.
love to do.
And now they see the strides that I'm making and they're like, they're so
Yeah.
happy for me. And, they, whenever I have something, they come and support me and they buy the tickets and support the arts. And I feel very lucky and blessed to have that.
So you just did a play. Did they go see you in the play that you were
Yes,
in?
they did. Yes, they
Oh,
did. And my
tell me
mama,
about the play. I want to hear about the play because you booked
so
that, and I was so excited for you.
it was called a Hardy Poway Legend. So it was put on Poway is a city in San Diego, and it was a historical play about a robbery that happened in the 18s. So I got to dress up like an East cowboy and I had my little accent going.
Nice.
My name was Jeb Feeler. I was a little bit of an 1890s fuck boy. So I don't know if we can curse on here, but
Yes, you sure
okay.
can.
So I got to butch it up a little bit, and it was such a fun experience. It's been a long time since I've been on the stage because I've been focusing on film and television. But oh my goodness, the people I worked with were just amazing. Amazing, nicest, sweetest, talented people. The play was fun, it was funny, it was campy. I got to die in the middle of it. Yes. Oh, it was drama. It was so exciting. And the confidence that it gave me because I'll be honest, I was a little scared at first because it's been a while since being on the stage, having one take. It's like riding a
Yeah,
bike.
yeah.
But I wish I had 100 more shows. I wish I had a
Oh, I
hundred more
love
shows.
it. That's why theater is so. I mean, I've never done theater, so
Do
I
it, do
can't
it, Diana.
say. Last year I there was a play. There's always plays in town here as
Yeah.
well, and so I went and auditioned for a play, and they offered me a dual role, and I was like, wow, okay, how am I gonna freaking do this? Like, this is gonna be crazy. And I've never done theater before, so I walked in cold read. I don't know theater. I didn't know the structure. There's
Yes.
always different techniques for different things, right?
Exactly.
So I'm like, shit, like, I'm just going to do what I can do what I do. Right. So I walked in, they handed me a script, and I was like, I'm going to need like 10 minutes. Is that
Mhm.
cool? Went in my car and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And I go in there and I just like, I was really surprised at myself. I did a cold read. It was pretty dang good. I was like, okay, I did all right. I'm pretty proud of myself, like maybe get a call back, maybe. And they like emailed me and they're like, we're going to offer you a dual role. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do
Yeah.
this, right? Well, and then a couple weeks go by and I'm like, what's going on with the
Mhm.
play? Like there's no schedule yet. When are rehearsals? That out. And I was already kind of getting like a weird vibe. I'm like, why
Okay.
is this taking so long? Um, it's not like, a film in LA, like a feature
Mhm.
film, or it's, not to say anything bad about, local theater at all, but I just assumed it would go a lot faster, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. And so I finally got an email, and they're like, the director, and he was like, "Hey, I'm actually not going to be directing this play anymore. Something came up and we're just not going to do it." And I'm like,
Just,
"Damn it."
just tear my heart out. Why don't you? Just
Yeah.
stomp on it while you're doing that, okay? You got me all gassed
Yes.
up just to let me
Right.
down.
I was so excited to dabble in theater and, like, do some stuff that I've never
Hmm.
done before. And,
Yeah.
because that's what it's all about, right? It's just putting yourself out there.
Yes, being uncomfortable. And I mean, I implore you to seek out an opportunity like that again, because for one thing I can tell you is just like the level of confidence I have after doing that is tenfold from what I did before, and you surprise yourself and you're just like, I'm capable of that. Whoa. Like, and it's an
Yes.
amazing feeling and it's an amazing accomplishment for anyone. So please, Diana, I implore you,
I
go
want to do
find
it.
go find a play that you can be in or create your own.
Right? And talking about gaining that confidence, which, by the way, I wanted to say, theater is so intimidating because it's literally one take.
Mhm.
You're not on a movie set. You
Mm-mm.
can't say cut, cut.
But I will say, I mean, I guess it depends on like because I had that like notion too before I obviously did it. Just my internal fears. But like, good example, one of my castmates who I was heavily involved with, like scene and stuff like that. He was a
Mhm.
little bit of an old gentleman. He was newer on the block, let's say that, and he was forgetting his lines, which is okay because when you have somebody, I guess, more seasoned like I am, I was like, well, I know which lines he's gonna forget, so I'm just gonna improv, and I'm gonna do some work with, it. We'll wrap it up in a bow, and like he played like like he's older, like in his 70s, and in the play he drinks whiskey. So I just set it up like he's drunk on his whiskey and he just can't even remember like what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And it's you get to play like that, and stuff happens. People forget their lines, people forget their blocking because when you're in the moment, you're in the moment and you're
Yeah.
not thinking about what's
The
my block.
technicals.
Exactly.
And you have a
So,
live audience staring at
mhm.
you.
Uh-huh. So you don't have time to be like, because you have 20 eyes, just like, what are they gonna do next?
You're like, "Wait, let me start over. I
Get
got to
that cue
one.
again, please. Can I get that cue?
Can we go back to one just real quick?"
Oh my God, imagine. That's nightmares right
I think
there.
that's why I'm scared of theater. I could dance on a stage. I
Hmm.
could totally do that, but I
Yeah, what are you talking about? You're a dancer.
because it's different. It's like burying your soul. I don't know. I guess dancing too, but it's different
Yes.
for I don't know.
And don't forget, you have like usually have weeks of rehearsal. So like we were
Yeah, that's
rehearsing
true.
for like the month before. By the end of it, of course, the preview, I was like shitting a brick because
Yeah.
like all the intrusive thoughts are like you're gonna forget all your lines. I just know it. I just know it. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Guy on your shoulder.
Uh-huh. And then on the other side of it, I was like, can I do it again?
That's the push and pull with performing. It's like the highs and the lows, right? It's so
Yes.
high and then you go so low. It's because all the intrusive thoughts.
The torture
Yeah.
artists, but we're the one
Yes.
torturing ourselves
I
constantly.
know. Psychos, man. We're psychos. On the other hand, this I feel like gave you such a boost. And I'm excited for you because you just started a new podcast
I did.
called The Grind is Real.
It
Play
is.
on words there. So real spelled like real, REEL in the acting world. You have a reel for your acting or whatever. So I thought that was really clever.
Thank you.
Tell me about what inspired you to start a podcast?
Well, I know we'll touch on this a little bit, but I am a Gemini midheaven. A little astrology talk right there.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
I'm a Cancer Sun, Virgo rising, Gemini midheaven. So the highest part of my chart is in Gemini, which Geminis are really like for communication, their words and stuff like that. Which is fitting why I'm an actor and why I love to in real life I'm a chatterbox when I get comfortable. And the Geminis, they're twins, so the duality. And that's why like I've always been somebody who sometimes I put a lot on my plate. That's because I want to do everything and anything. I'm gonna do it really well. Obviously, that's the Virgo in me. But to get off that tangent and go back to your question.
Yeah, we're going to touch on that in a little bit because I do have some questions. Because I am a Gemini myself. My birthday is in June, so I am a Gemini.
Yes. Yes, you
But
are.
I do have an app. I should look at it
Yes,
and
look at
see.
it because I could
What is
talk
it
about it.
called? It's called. My friend Brooke and I did it together. We had a couple old drinks
Was it
one day.
Co-Star?
Coast. That's
Co-Star?
what it's
Yeah.
called.
Well, no, that's one of the apps I use. Like, I go on AstroSeek or AstroDentist because then it shows you the wheel for your birth chart,
Oh,
and you'll be able
okay.
to see all the placements in the houses that you have. Oh my, Diana, don't get me started. Let me get back to the original question.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm downloading the app again. Anyway,
Mhm.
so what inspired you to get a
So
podcast?
I was really, as you and I both know, things ebb and flow in this industry. And I was
Yeah.
really, really deep into a valley of just nothing was coming my way. A few auditions here and there, wasn't booking them, which is okay. And I was like, I need to do something that fulfills me in the meantime because right now I'm just waiting for the phone to ring.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said earlier, having things outside of this to fulfill you and make you happy and have that balance. And I love to talk. And I was like, why don't I start a podcast as a passion project? Because whether one person listens to it or 100,000, I'm not interested in that. That's none of my business. I do what I do and I put it out there and then I move on to the next week or a few weeks later. Because, it's a passion project for me. And I also just felt like I've always been somebody who like I always wish I had like certain what's the word? Like people to look up to in this industry. And a lot of the times growing up I didn't really feel like I saw myself in anybody else or
Like a mentor.
yeah, like a mentor, I feel like I feel connected to that person because of what they're doing and I want to be like them. And so as I've gotten older, I'm like, well, and this little like, work on myself. Like I don't need that from other people. I've had enough life experience. I've been around the block a few times in my time. You know,
Game.
Oh my God, it's true. And it's just like, why not put my message out to other people so that they can have that? Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it makes me feel like I'm doing my part on what I was put on this planet to do. And the struggles of being an actor, or just being a human being. Like my last episode that I just did, was called Mañana será bonito because I was just going through a really hard time. And to me, that phrase has always been a phrase that I hold dear to my heart because tomorrow will be beautiful. Life sucks sometimes. We all go through our things, but tomorrow will be beautiful. And if you can keep your head in that space most of the time, then you can conquer most things.
Yeah.
And that is what inspired me to continue and step into the unknown and fear of being judged or people think I'm cringe or whatever because I have who wants to do a podcast now. Yeah, I do want to do a podcast now. Where's yours? And I have a podcast now. So
Yeah, and you should be proud of that because
exactly.
that's something that you created from the ground up, that you
Hmm.
produce, that you write, that you host. It is very hard. And I was actually thinking about this morning because I too want my podcast to be, whether it's 5 people watch it or 100,000, like you said, it doesn't matter to me. I love this quote and I posted it. It's always on like Pinterest or something, but it says, I want to make beautiful things even if no one cares. Like
Exactly.
that's how I truly feel. And I feel like this for me as well is a way to express myself. And it's something that I also like to chat and I want to inspire people. I want to do that because I want to be that person, like to inspire somebody, because there's so much negativity in this world, especially with social media and stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that it's really hard and life is really tough and you make mistakes and it's hard to come back from those mistakes. But I want to show people through this podcast that like you can really do anything. I want to be that person for somebody, like just inspiring somebody to like be creative or step
Exactly.
outside of the box
Mhm.
and explore who they are is what I want to do,
Mhm.
because I feel like I didn't really get to do that until I was older.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really realize that until I was like well into adulthood. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. And to your point, like if whatever I'm doing can inspire someone else to go for whatever it is that they want to do, then that is the greatest gift I could ever receive from putting your art out there because it's just like it's one more person we got on our team that is living their life for them and
Yeah.
not for other people. There was times in my life where I was living my life for other people and their
Hmm.
expectations, and that's no way to live, at least in
No,
my opinion. And
I
yeah,
agree.
it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I'm a little slow on it because like to me, it's more of a passion project rather than like I need to be on a schedule routine with it. Because when I get inspired, then I'll speak.
Same. And like I've learned to make it more of a consistent thing.
Mhm.
In the beginning, it was very like fly at the seat of my, and it still is. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I've just learned different ways to like, I just put so much into the podcast. And this is my go to. If I don't have auditions or I don't have
Okay.
any bookings, this is what I'm doing. And this is what I keep myself busy with. So I really try to make this somewhere where people feel, they can relate, they feel safe here almost.
And yeah,
And like you were saying, it's like people think you're cringe or people have their judgments, and that's fine, and I'm sure they do for me too, but at the end of the day, like, you just need to follow your heart, what you're doing. But anybody out there, I feel like it's a really tough battle to get over what people are going to think, or what your family might think, or not accept what you're doing, or whatever it is. But you have to do what makes your heart sing. And so I just want to applaud you on that, because when I saw that
you
you
too.
came,
You too.
well, thank you. But I saw your podcast come out and I was like, good. I'm so glad that he's doing that. Immediately subscribed. I
Aw.
listened to all the episodes. So yeah, if you want like a good listen and it's good to put on, he's very inspirational, talks a lot about mindset. Please follow his podcast. It's called The Grind is Real and it's on Spotify. Are you on any other
Yep,
platforms
I'm
as
on
well?
all major streaming platforms.
Okay, great. Yeah, so look him up, follow him. And then also wrapping up that as far as mindset goes, share with us your journey. Like you said, you're a Mexican American
Mhm.
and you're also part of the LGBTQ plus community. Tell
Mhm.
me about that experience, just as an actor
So it's a
or in
tricky one.
life in general,
Yeah, it's
let's shed some light there.
absolutely. So yes, I am Mexican American, LGBTQ community member, and my experience with that has been, for the most part, good. I do come from a very accepting and loving family. I'm not the first gay person in my family. I'm sure I'm not going to be the last. And so in that aspect, I am very fortunate and blessed to have very supportive and loving family members, all across
Already
the board.
one step up right there. You're already
Exactly.
winning right there.
Exactly. But, the thing about living your life, not living your life, but being who I am, that comes naturally with some trials and tribulations, whether that's in dating, whether that's not really, necessarily like a lot of things people don't know about is like when I didn't really have like a normal adolescence like other people did. So once you grow into like, your adulthood or like your 20s, you kind of go through like a second adolescence because now you're in the world and now you can actually seek out other people who are quote unquote like you. And
Mhm.
it's kind of like a relearning process because you're not exposed to a lot of things as like a teenager. Like most people have their first boyfriend or girlfriend or partner when they're 15, 16 years old, and I didn't get that until I was like 23. I know it doesn't seem like quite a different, like a big time frame, but when you're 23, I'm already like learning all these formative things, and now I have to like learn all these newer things that I never got to experience. And I mean, it's cool. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I feel like it's really given me a different perspective, an understanding perspective of seeing people for who they are and not judging them.
Yeah.
And having that loving energy of all are welcomed, and like as long as you're not hurting anybody or animals and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's a funny experience. And to like translate that into, this is probably where I struggled the most with it, was when it came to acting, because when I first stepped into this world I was being put in a box. And if you know anything about me, I don't like to be put in a box. Don't put baby in the corner. Because I mean, you, myself, we all know like we're capable for more. So stop giving me certain things because now it's just becoming like offensive because
Limitation.
yeah,
Don't
like
put limitations on me.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm so much more than being gay. That is just a part of my life. That's not even, to me, it's not even like the biggest part of my life, you know? And it was a struggle because I had to I had to find my voice a little bit and be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be campy actor, always being, the gay, like flamboyant thing. I'm not interested in that. Somebody else is, good for them. But that's to me, it's like I'm so much more capable
You're fine.
and and yeah, and
It
I get
doesn't define you is what you're
it, yeah,
saying. It doesn't
it
define
doesn't.
you. It's not,
Hmm.
it's just a part of who you are,
Hmm.
and it doesn't define you. And I think that the other, people, it's hard for them to understand that that's just part of who you are. I'm
Hmm.
glad that you're out of that space,
Hmm.
because it probably took a lot of work for you to get through that. And I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
it's still kind of a struggle.
I think I mean, as you age, as you mature, and you gain a level of confidence within yourself, it becomes a lot easier to say no, or it becomes a lot easier to be like, I don't like that, And in my younger years, I was very much, especially in this world, because I just wanted to make a good impression with people, being a little people pleaser. And yes, that's good at times. Yes, you should, have form good relationships, but not to your detriment, not to your
Mhm.
detriment, and not to the point where you're silencing yourself and your truth for the sake of somebody else's comfortability or whatever vision they have of you. It's like, no, ma'am.
It's not your responsibility to live up to their idea of who you are. That's not
Mhm.
your responsibility. That's on them. You are who you are.
As an actor, I don't know about you, what I would imagine. It's like, hello, I'm an actor. I enjoy playing things that are outside of myself because it's like, why else would I be? If I wanted to be myself all the time, then I would just be on reality TV, you know?
Really good point. I mean, you really have a point there. I guess I never really thought about that because there's always a typecast, if you
Mhm.
will. And I don't know if you get typecast as that, but I have a typecast for sure, and I want to step out of that. Like, I don't want to be the dumb blonde all the time. I want to be like a badass. I want to be a Jersey girl. Like, I want to be something.
Yeah,
The more meatier stuff, which
exactly.
I love me a good rom com, don't get me wrong, but can I be the supporting role who's the best friend? Or can I be the lead who's the romantic? I can be
You
that
can.
too.
Yeah, of course, but and one thing this is the unfortunate gripe I've come to find out, at least in my journey, is that it gets to that point, and it's just like, well, I just have to create that for myself because clearly no one else is going to see that yet, so I just have to create it for myself, and I have to give myself the opportunity to show everyone up because then they will believe me because you will do a great job, and as long as you believe in yourself, then that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
And that's what I am kind of figuring out this past year, even now. It's just like, I'm not waiting for anybody else to tell me who I am because I know who I am for the most part. And some days I look at the mirror and I'm like, okay. And just give yourself the opportunity to outshine even yourself in the best possible way.
Right?
You know what I mean? And like
Yeah, I know what you mean.
surprise yourself.
Yes.
And I wouldn't say it's a sad truth. I would say it's an incentive because you're going to learn so many other things on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And you're going to, take chances on yourself and take risks. And I just think that makes you a more well rounded human being in general.
And that's why it's so important to create your own
Hmm.
content, make your
Hmm.
short films, get with actors, reach
Hmm.
out to people, create relationships.
Exactly.
That's definitely where I found my people is like, I feel so I could be myself. I can be
Yeah.
my funny, witty. I mean, I do employ a little bit of dumb blonde, a little bit. I do
Hey,
have
that's a hey, that's a tactic. You're doing it right. I know exactly what you're doing, but I'm gonna act like I don't.
Hey, Gabe. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I feel like those are where my people are. I
Yeah.
can be myself. I can be creative and I
Mhm.
don't feel like, oh God, was that stupid? Oh my God, they think I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Where I feel that way. And it's not anything against anybody. It's just me.
No, it's just the name of the game. Here, like I'm finding my tribe where, the people that I surround myself self with, like they want to see me do other things. They want to put me in those positions to, show up in any way that I can. And it's a safe space. And it's amazing once you start finding those people around you because it can be very isolating, you know? And I don't know about for you, but for me, like networking is like a nightmare to me. I hate it. Like,
Do you?
oh my God, no, yes, oh my, it's like, oh, it gives me like, my skin crawl because I'm shy. I know I don't
Like, do you
seem
feel
shy.
like it's salesy? Like it's too salesy?
It
Like,
can be, and I've just
yeah.
been to certain networking events in the past that are like, "Who do you know? What can you do for me?" And I'm like, I'm just looking for the bathroom. Like, is somebody else?
No, wait a minute. Hey, no,
and
ma'am.
and I just it feels very like, but I guess once you find your people, then that becomes your network, and then it just grows and grows from there. You know?
Yeah, and networking doesn't have to be right off the bat like, "Hey, I'm an actor, blah 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 blah." Like it could be like, "Hey, I like your shoes. Those are
Uh
so
huh.
cute." And
Hmm.
then continue, but it has to be genuine. You can't just hit like up random people. No, like you have to be actually like following this person or be in a group with this
Yeah,
person, some sort of a connection, and then
you go from
um
there.
and then go from there. Create your own content. Get with actors and make those short films. Create those roles for you. Like
Exactly.
you were saying, that's such great advice because last week I had Eric Qualls on and he, as an example, he makes short films. So that's that right there for all the actors out there. There's so many ways that you can do it. If
Exactly.
there's that's kind of why I wanted to make this podcast too, was
Mhm.
for actors to come and okay, Amy Linden was on. What did she have to say? Maria Tornberg and her headshots. What did she have to say? Gabe was on. What was his journey? Picking what applies to you, what speaks to you. And that kind of goes with acting too. When you're in class, some coaches may not speak to you, some do. And you just
Absolutely.
kind of pick and choose what information, and then you make your own identity, really,
Exactly.
you
And
know?
yeah, and it's trial and error. I mean, it's life.
Yeah.
Like to what I was telling you earlier about, being put in a box. I did have a teacher who, that was my first teacher, my first actual teacher who just kind of kept putting me in that box. So much so to the point where like, I just knew that this was not the right fit for me and for everybody else, good for you, but you have to learn when to know, like when to walk away and when to exit stage left and be like, I'm gonna go find where I do belong and where I'm not being told who I am. Because, you know,
And it's okay to pop around classes and
absolutely,
coaches. Like,
absolutely.
do it. Find your spot, find your people. The problem is I like all the classes. I'm like, I love Amy Linden. I love
Yeah.
me some Lauren, your coach Lauren. I
Lauren,
love
if you,
her.
oh my God, she is. I don't want to talk about her too much because I don't want people to know my secret. Lauren, I love her though. So, I have
She's
not.
amazing. And then Lauren Chatema is also
Mhm.
amazing. She's so good. Darren Warren, I love
Mhm.
her. Kenzo Lee, he's a great audition. Tony Robinette, James
Tony.
Saccone. You know what I mean? Who do I go to? It's like they're all so freaking good. And I take so much valuable information from all of them. I've been wanting to try Lauren actually because I've networked with her, not networked, I've seen her at a lot of networking events, is what I meant to say. And I just like click with her. And I've even told her, but she probably thinks I'm a freaking weirdo. At the Jig Reels thing, I saw her and I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh my God, Lauren, every time I see you, I talk to you, I just feel she just has that warm presence, making you feel like you're the only person in the room.
Beautiful soul. Well, let me just tell you this about how this is the kind of person Lauren is. So I had seen her stuff, and to join her class, you have to do a qualifying session, which is more so just her way of figuring out if she's able to work with you or not. And I chickened out. I sent her an email, and then I never responded. And then at the Christmas party, I saw her from the corner of my eye, and I was like, she's not gonna know who I am. I'm just a little blib on the email. Oh, she knew exactly who I was.
No way.
I turn around and she's like, "Are you Gabriel Uribe?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was
You're
like,
all immediately you're like, fuck, I never responded.
"Yes, uh-huh, yes." And I was like, yeah, hi." And she was like, What happened? Like you were emailing me, I never heard back from you." And I was like, either I'm gonna lie right now or I'm just gonna be completely honest with her. I was completely honest with her. I was like, "Look, I chickened out. I was scared. I got cold feet. I heard the word qualifying session. I clearly didn't believe in myself that I would qualify." And she was like, "What?" She was like, she couldn't like believe that I was saying that to her. It was just kind of like what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And the most loving way. And she was like, I think this is a very serendipitous moment that you and I are after all that, we're meeting in person. I had no idea you were going to be here. You had no idea I was going to be here. She was like, book the qualifying session with me. Just do it. And I was like, and I did. Yeah. And I did it. And it was, I've been with her since January. Just
Wow.
she is, oh God, she's amazing. I love her so much. And I just want to give her a hug right now.
She's so sweet.
And
She
she's one
really
of
is.
those teachers who, like, she genuinely wants her students to succeed. You can tell that she just, that's her mission in this life, is to have her students go as far as they possibly can.
Yeah.
And
And you
that's,
know what? I think most coaches, every coach I've ever interacted with or worked with at HWC have all been
yes.
just exactly like that. Have you read the book Audition?
I read bits and pieces of
Okay, well, I'm listening to it
yeah.
right now, but I'm not really reading it. Talking to me. And in the book, it talks about how hard when we look at casting directors or we look at coaches or anything like that in this business, it's
Yeah.
like we automatically have this wall up against them that they're out to like get us, or they're
Yeah.
out to make us fail or make us feel like shit about ourselves, when it's actually the total opposite. It's them. They're just really looking for who they want, and they actually love you.
Yeah.
You're just, maybe they're busy and they've got hundreds of people that they're looking at that day. They've probably introduced themselves 952 times before you walked in or before your
Mhm.
tape came up. And so it's really not a personal thing. It's more just, and I think that we do that to ourselves. Like like you were saying, like you just get in your own head. And I do the same exact
Yeah.
thing.
I think it's the mind protecting itself.
Yeah.
It's very much like a protection strategy, survival instinct, because humans
Yeah.
have a hard time dealing with rejection. And, I guess depending on how you grew up, I know for myself, at times I've had a little bit of an anxious attachment style. And that's been in the past my mode of transportation, of like waiting for the other shoe to drop. That way I will be protecting myself when I know that it didn't work out and I knew that it wasn't going to work out, you know,
Oh my God. Yes.
you
You
know.
hit the nail on the head for sure. I hope I said that right. See, there's another like blonde thing. I don't know. Uh, Sorry, my husband was right
Oh, you're
there.
good. Hey, how you doing?
I don't he walked out. I don't know. He was trying to get my attention and then he walked out of the door. It's like I would never have been able to explain it better than that, because that's so true. I love that you're so in tune, and I didn't really know that about you. I knew you were into mindset. Obviously, I've listened to your podcast, but I guess hearing it and on a personal level, it's crazy how in tune you are, and I love that about you, and I love that you have so many good little nugget of infos. Like, share with us, how do you keep yourself mentally there to where you're able to navigate through these hard situations? Because a girl needs some help.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big family guy, so surrounding myself with my family is always good. I love to journal, and I've gotten to a place in my life where it's just like if I need help, I'll ask, and that's hard for a lot of people to do. And I think, and also balancing too, like knowing that, having that awareness with myself, where it's like, okay, I'm getting too deep in the trench right now of trying to force stuff for myself, that I need to take a back seat and just like go do something else, whether that's just hanging out with my dog or going to the movies or journaling or sitting outside and connecting with nature. A lot of therapy too. Let's be real.
Yes.
And
It's okay to go to therapy, y'all. It is
uh-huh,
okay. It's okay.
absolutely. And honestly, like kind of taking the approach that like it doesn't always have to be so serious,
Mhm.
and there's a little bit of like relinquishing control that is involved, because if I'm trying to control everything every day, oh my God, I'm just gonna drive myself crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to explain the mindset that I have, because I just feel like
Yeah, it is hard. It's really hard.
yeah.
I mean, like journaling and hanging out with
Mhm.
family usually keeps
Mhm.
you pretty, yeah. I mean, you kind of have to figure out your own little process
Exactly.
too.
Well,
Yeah.
and I guess just to go on a little bit of a deeper level right now, like I've been through a lot in my life. I am somebody who, I have put a bright smile on my face, and, I can do all that and light it up, but that doesn't come from just because of how I naturally am. That comes because I've been through a lot in my life and I choose to be optimistic and see that tomorrow is going to be beautiful. Am I always like that? No, of course, because I'm a human being. But,
Yeah.
that does, I believe for myself, play a huge role in that. Like, I've been through so much worse crap. Half of the time I'm like, this is child's play right now. you know. And really, honestly, I think just like being open and honest about how you're feeling,
Yeah.
obviously, I think it's a really good starting point because a lot of people have a hard time doing that. I mean, sometimes I do too, but just being like, look, this is not where I'm not in a good place right now. Like, even though like my mom doesn't always understand what I go through, like I'll tell her, and I'm just like, I just feel like I'm walking through the dark. I just feel like, nothing's going my way. And then once I get that out, it's out. And you're like, okay, let me remind myself of all the wonderful things I have done and celebrate the small wins, because not everything needs to be on the mountaintop of Everest. Most
Right.
things are going to be a lot lower, and you have to relish in those, and you really have to just remember, like, I get to do what I love, and no one can take that away from me. And some days are harder than others. And would it be nice to be on set every day? Yeah. Is that my reality right now? No, but that's okay.
But it might be.
Exactly. And I have all these other beautiful things going on in my life right now too that I can pour my energy and focus. My dog, he takes up a lot of my time, and
Yeah.
he's my saving grace. He's my soul
Oh,
baby. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I think mindset really it really is a choice. It's a choice,
100%.
you know. So yeah.
And I need a lot I definitely have problems choosing sometimes, not a lot of times, but it's hard for me in a tough situation to sit there and remove myself and tell myself, okay, you need to choose to be this mindset. It's really hard for me to pull myself out of that and really remind myself. Sometimes I need to really get to that bottom and feel the emotion
Yeah,
in order for me to be like,
of
okay,
course.
time to get the F up and let's move on. Like what else can I do? Just need that moment, I kind of, and I'm more like a recluse. Like I
Yeah,
kind of like turn in
got to
when I
recharge.
feel, yeah, like if I feel down or if something bad happened to me, like it makes me not want to reach out to people. And some people are so opposite and they're
Yeah,
like, I want to go and be with, for me, that's like too much. Like I
yeah,
have to process and I have to I just work better by myself, like
yeah.
on mindset wise.
No,
Yeah.
and I completely understand that. Like I can be like that, very much. Obviously, with the people that are closest to me, they more often than not know what is going on, internally.
Right.
Like especially like my mom, so to speak. But I completely understand. Like I deal with my emotions on my own for the most part, and but I love that you said that sometimes you have to take those moments just to process whatever it is you're feeling because that is so true. Like you just have to feel the feeling and then you move past it and remind yourself that this feeling is not going to last forever, but
Right.
it's here right now and I acknowledge it and I see it and we'll deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's a huge, like, learning how to be your best friend in that in your own way, like that,
Yeah.
taking care, self-care, taking care of your heart and your emotions and upstairs. It's you have to, because only you know exactly how you feel inside and what's triggering that and all those kind of things. But yeah,
Yeah, so feel the feels, journal it out,
yes.
go sing it out, go dance it
Try
out,
whatever you have
whatever.
to do.
Do whatever you have to do.
If you live anywhere, a little funny thing, a little side note. If you live anywhere where there's a lot of hills, high viewpoints, go up there and look around you, and you will really realize my problems aren't that big. Like, look at the world around
Look
you.
at this huge city, like,
Like,
it's so beautiful. Because life is beautiful. It's a bitch sometimes, and you kinda have to figure out your own way through it, navigate it, and yeah, so I like to ask everybody that comes on here how they deal with mindset because it just is so important. Maybe, someone will take your advice or someone.
I feel like I gave you a messy answer, but
No, not at all. No, because It's hard to describe, like, you don't sit down and think, "This is what I
Hmm.
do for my mental health," like, there's just things that you do, and you just
Hmm.
can't describe it,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I totally get it, and trust me, anybody ask me a question, I don't even answer the question, I'll go on a tangent about something else, and I'm like, "Wait, what was the question?
What was the question?
Wait, was there a question, or what were we talking why were we talking about?"
Yeah, I get it.
Oh my god, so hard left.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
I haven't watched it. I know it just came out. No, I haven't watched it. I've been catching up. I've been busy lately. It's a good
You have
busy,
been
but
busy lately, yes,
I
I'm
have
sorry, yes.
I barely have time to like catch up on my shows. I just catched up on Orange County, Housewives of Orange,
Okay.
and Salt Lake City. Love those ladies
I
are
love
great.
Salt Lake. Who's your favorite on Salt Lake?
Last season, who was my favorite? I want to say Lisa, because she's kooky and she just, she was my favorite. I don't know. I mean,
And she just doesn't give a
she has those one-liners. It's just like, oh my god! I just watched the first episode, and there was the one moment she was like, "I know it was either you or you," and I just was like, "There you are, Lisa
yes.
Barlow." Come
The look on Heather's face, she's all and Heather didn't even do it, and Heather's all
on. Oh my god! Is Angie K? Leave it to Angie K. She's messy. She is messy. Greek mafia. She's part of the Greek mafia. That's why.
I do love Angie. Angie's always like, "Why are you no, no, no." She's always like, "Why are you doing this?" She's
Oh my
always
god,
so like, "My God," at somebody, always.
he's a
Which
mess.
how can you not be?
What do you watch? Do you watch Orange County? Who's your
Yes.
favorite on there?
I mean, I have so many. I like Tamara. I think Tamara's always a good one. Vicky, I think she's funny. I wish Vicky was on, to be
See,
honest.
I've seen Vicky in Mexico.
Have you?
Yeah, because I love going to Puerto Vallarta, and so she
Yes,
has a
P
home
Beach.
there.
That's where she goes all the time.
Uh-huh. And there's this one bar called, well, I don't think it's called Margarita Time, but I call it Margarita Time. And she was there, and I just was like, I was like, oh, I was like fangirling in secret because I wasn't gonna go bother her and be like, "Can I get a picture?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's,
Did
I
you
was
get
just,
to talk to her at all? Did you walk by and be like, "Hey," or
no, I
anything?
think she was with her brother and like his like wife or something. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay,
oh,
yeah.
family time. Like, I'm not gonna be that person.
That's so cool. How funny that you saw her in Mexico and not in Orange County, because you live right there. Who was the girl? Monica. That's who it
Monica.
was.
Hmm.
Kind of
Reality.tea.
liked her a little bit last year on Salt Lake.
Well, yeah, I mean, I liked her because she's messy, you know? We love
Good
the,
TV. It's good TV.
uh-huh. But I don't know. That was crazy. That was
Well,
crazy.
that was really effed up what she was doing. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But I did like how she was like calling everybody out, like aside from what she was
Yeah.
doing, but you know what I mean? She was like a down chick. She was like ready to go. Orange County, I'm glad that Alexis is back. I don't like all this stuff though with Shannon. Like I feel like leave her alone, bro.
Yeah.
Like
It's a little much. I mean, it's not a little, it's a lot of much. I mean,
yeah. Johnny J needs to like Johnny J the hell out of here. Like he
yeah.
is problem
You know,
number
I don't.
one.
I'm gonna disagree with you with Alexis because I feel like she's making something about her that has nothing to do with her, and I'm just like, girl, get a hobby. Like, how was it? You're a willing participant in this situation right now.
I feel bad for Shannon. I want them
Yes.
to leave her alone. Like,
Yeah, like yeah, she made a mistake. Okay, like first of all, nobody on this cast has any room to talk about anybody's drinking habits. Let's just say that. And honestly, I feel like when it comes to Tamra, like if you're really somebody's friend like that, why are you like nailing them to the cross and beating them to like that's not tough love. You're just being mean at this point.
yeah, you're not supporting your friend. Be a supportive friend. I think that we should not don't be so judgy on people when they drink. Everyone has their vice, but I don't think that it should be held against them. Obviously, if you're hurting other people and if she shouldn't have been driving. End of
Yeah.
story. Okay,
Hmm.
we all get it. Like
Hmm.
she's paid her price. She knows what she did was wrong. I feel like why in the hell are we suing Shannon? Why are we suing her? Like she can't get over it.
I mean, unfortunately, I think she's just dealing with a very not nice man, and
Yeah, and I think if Johnny J wasn't in the picture, Shannon and
mhm.
Alexis probably would get along.
Probably. Yeah, but I mean, I couldn't even. I'd be like, why do you want to be my friend? What do you want to talk to me about? You're trying to
Yeah.
exploit me right now with your. quote unquote videos you have of me. Well, then put it
Right.
out. That's what I would be like.
Seriously, that's so messed up. That's straight up blackmail, I think. That's crazy. Why would you want to hurt somebody like that, you know?
It's
Just leave it alone. I do like Shannon though. I do think that I like her humor. I think she's funny.
the
Yeah.
hammer.
I feel like me and her would get along so well because we're both
Yes,
like that. Like, you know?
the neuroticism.
And
I
she's
love Shannon.
fun. And yeah, I wish that all the Trace Amigas were like back together. I think that would be cool too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think with Tamra, she's just, in terms of the show, she's gonna do whatever's gonna give her the best storyline. Unfortunately,
That's true. Yeah. Well, she ain't stupid. I mean, she left and
Yeah.
came back, and so now
She
she's
needs to
ready
collect
to.
that check now. Every season she's proving why you brought me back. This is why you brought me back. But in terms of the Shannon stuff, I'm like, girl, give it a rest. You're being a mean girl right now, and it's not a good look.
And Shannon's not being herself. She's so
No,
watered down, and like you could tell, she's just like
in a dark place.
a dark clouds over her. Her
Mhm.
personality's gone. So I
Mhm.
think if she was removed from that environment, she'd be able to flourish more
Yeah.
as Shannon. You know? Do you think that Heather Dubrow calls the paparazzi?
Of course, of course. I was who was I watching this with? I was watching with somebody, and I was like, why doesn't she just be like, yeah, I fucking called them. What about it? And they can't, and she showed up. So like, really, you want that photo where that was so. Come on.
I mean, and also I'm thinking, do they have to call paparazzi? Wouldn't the paparazzi like take pictures of them if they saw them anyway? You know what I mean?
Maybe because I mean I wouldn't be surprised because I feel like unless you're like superstar, then they just come like automatically.
Follow you around,
Yeah,
yeah.
but like when you're probably at that like lower, not lower, but like middle tier
Bravo, Liberty.
Bravo celebrity, like they're not worried about what you're doing at Disneyland. Let's be real. They don't give a shit. You call them, they're like, oh, I know she has a big following, so I'm gonna get a little check for it if I get a picture of her.
Why not own it, Heather? Just own it, Heather. Who
Well, it's
cares?
fancy pants perfectionism, and that's why. Perfect.
You're Heather Dubrow, okay? Own it. No
Oh,
one
yeah.
cares.
No one
No
cares.
one's gonna hate on you for it. Get your bag, girl. Get the bag. Um, what do you think is gonna happen with Jersey?
I don't know. I finished this last season, and my heart was broken a little bit
Yeah.
because it's just kind of like, especially between like Melissa and Teresa. I was just like, it's just so ugly. It's so ugly. Family fighting like that. It's just like it's not. I don't know. It's just. I think they need a break. I think,
Yeah.
and honestly, it's been like the same story every season, anyways, where they
Yeah.
just don't like each other, and I feel like there's
I
too
don't
many.
understand it. I think Teresa, did it all start with Teresa not liking Melissa? Like, how did
So
that?
I think the original story, from what I've read, is that like Teresa didn't want them on the show.
Okay, so it stems from all that drama.
Yes. So because Teresa wants to be the star of the family, not her sister-in-law or not her brother, and so I think that's the original, poison apple, and then as the stripper, all this, all that, it just snowballs into all this. But it's
14 seasons later.
14 seasons later. Yeah, but I think it's a good pause for them, in my personal opinion, because they're too much.
It's too toxic.
Yeah, and as much as like we enjoy watching that stuff, like even I find myself like, "Ugh, this is too much. Like, can we have some peace? you know?
It's a lot.
Aren't you tired of fighting? It's not even my problem, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I think I wish they could get along because I think that they have such a beautiful family that they could
Yeah.
all just get along and you don't have to be best friends, but can you guys just get along because you guys are all like I love Melissa. I think
Mhm.
probably is my favorite to
Oh
be
yeah.
honest. I do like Melissa. I sometimes I'm like, okay, Melissa, no, don't say that. But it's like on a loving level. Like I
Yeah.
love her. Teresa is a lot. I think they would flourish in separate areas. I think
Spaces.
that Melissa maybe should stay with the Jersey Housewives and they could surround the story around like all of those girls. Because I think who's that new blonde girl? She's freaking funny.
The new blonde girl. Oh God, what's her name?
Shit.
It's right here. I know. Yes,
Danielle.
Danielle. There we
Danielle.
go, Danielle.
Danielle. She's so funny. I think that would be a great cast, all of those girls. And then maybe like Teresa and I can't think of anybody's effing name right now. Jen Aiden. They could go off and do their own thing.
Just need to be in separate rooms now. It's never gonna happen. They're never gonna be friends. Like, stop trying to
I
make
wish
it.
they would just get along though, because this is getting out
Of
of control.
course. How do you feel about Gia being more involved in the mix?
I think it's fun that Gia's like on there, cameos here and there.
Yeah.
I think it's cool because it's fun to catch up on what she's doing.
Mhm.
Don't like that Teresa has her in these adult situations where she is a young adult. She's just now figuring life out. She's going through her own stuff. I think it's just messy to have your daughter be in your drama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I agree. And I mean, these women, they're grown ass women. Like, what does a 22-year-old, 20-year-old bullshit know about 50-year-old women problems? You know?
Like, why did she have to sit down at the lawyer meeting when the lawyer comes over? And like we talk about Joe and Melissa, like literally her aunt and uncle, and
Oh my
you're letting her
God.
sit in on this. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so at the end of every episode, I feel like this wasn't even an episode. It's just like we've just been talking the whole time
Oh, me
about
too.
everything.
It's been wonderful. I loved it.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. So at the end, I just try to get everyone get to know my guests a little bit more. We kind of touched on astrology earlier, but what is your zodiac sign? Do you believe in astrology?
Can you tell? So I am a Cancer sun. I was born in June as well. I'm a Virgo rising, and I'm an Aquarius moon.
So
Those
your
are my big
birthday
three.
is late June?
June 24th. That's when I'm born.
I'm June 14th.
Yeah. Oh, if you listen to what I say, the Aquarius moon comes out a little bit with my little offhanded comments that I make.
I could see Aquarius in you a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Virgo rising in me is very, I want to do things well, perfectionist a little bit of a time. At times I can be, a little hard on myself. And then the Cancer sun in me is just, I'm a big family guy, lovey-dovey. I love bringing people together, doing all that kind of stuff. And yes, I do believe in astrology, but sometimes I have to take certain things with grains of salt because I can be like, okay, that's a little too much. I'm not ready to deal with that right now. Okay.
No, it's not supposed to say that about me.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to believe that part. We're
That
going to
doesn't
leave that
apply
out.
to me. That doesn't apply to me. No.
Oh my God. I love that we're both, well, you're a Cancer really, but we're in the same month. I think that's cool. Yeah. Being a Gemini is pretty fun though. Yeah. It's very adventurous, very talkative, but I can
Yes.
also be like very quiet too
Yeah.
and very like in my own fields.
Yeah. Uh-huh. The Virgo in me. So I'm very, in new situations, I can be very observant. And that's what I say, like, it doesn't seem like I'm shy, but put me in a new, like, unfamiliar environment. I'm like, and that's just me kind of observing everything. And
Yeah, I do that too. And it's not even anybody else. It's my own insecurity. It's just me warming up to the room.
like what I was saying earlier about the Gemini midheaven. So if you look on your birth chart, it's like a circle. So your 10th house is typically for most people, like your midheaven is going to be in your 11th, 10th, or 9th house. And that is kind of like the 10th house is like your house of like career, public recognition, and stuff like that. And so with Geminis, they're, like I said, the twins, the duality. And they're really known for being like people who are able to do a lot of different things. And want to do them really, really well and have like a sort of like mastery of them. Obviously, we don't have all the time in the world, so I can't do everything that I want to do,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really, I think that's what really gives me, that drive to, yes, I'm an actor and that is where my heart is first, but I also want to do other things too.
Yeah.
Like I want to start a podcast. I want to
Yes.
direct my own short film. I want to, be a great dog dad and hopefully a great father at some point in my life. And oh, did I just say that out loud? You get it all the tea today, Diana.
No, it's so true. Actors in general, they just want to create and they want to make things. And I think being a Gemini on top of that is like a lot because
Yeah.
you really are just in high gear. Kate Hudson, for example, you didn't know she was a great singer because we've only known her as a fucking great actress.
Yeah.
But actors have so many different things that they do.
Yeah.
Like she sings and she goes and has shows now.
Yeah.
Good for her, because that was her original passion. These actors that are now authors, like Ariana Grande was an actress first, and she knew she was going to be a pop star, and now she's a pop star. There's so many, like, I think there's such a misconception about actors, and they just want to be these emotional, you know what I mean? Actors are just very talented, and they want to share their creativity with the world.
And like, I think, like, I guess if you listen to like my first episode, anybody listens to my first episode or second episode, I speak about that, like feeling like I couldn't do anything else, feeling like having like a weird feeling like, well, if I don't, and I said it, like, if I do this, that means that I don't love this as much, which is completely untrue. That's like saying you don't love one of your kids more than the other.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? It's like you love them all the same. It's just sometimes your energy just goes to different places for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
And I had to have that kind of like reckoning with myself, feeling almost like a failure a little bit. There was a little bit of a disappointment in myself, like wanting to do something else, which is cuckoo land. Because, why would I feel that's my own issues, my own childhood issues?
Yeah.
And, but then you do it and you're like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Multifaceted. Look at me.
Well, we're gonna have to we definitely, like, aside from this, I need a reader today. Can
You
you
need a
read
reader?
today?
Yeah, I can help you. Absolutely. I'm free all day.
Okay, I have a call at 11
Mhm.
with Nancy. Oh my God, I cannot think of anybody's name today.
Get it together, Diana.
No, I know. Get your shit together. Nancy, she was just at the meeting on HWC just
Nancy
the other day.
Scanlon?
Yes,
Oh my God. How'd you forget her name?
Gabe, I don't know. I need
Nancy,
some more, like, ginkgo biloba. I need more alpha brain.
get your life together, Diana.
Get it together. I know, Gabe. I have a meeting with her at 11. So after
Okay.
that, like, I'll send you like an email or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, last question, because now I'm realizing I have this phone call. Okay, this is gonna be so, Gabe.
Yeah.
Your last question is, what is your ambitious goal for this week?
My ambitious goal for this week. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't prepare an answer for this.
And it's Monday, so
Oh, no, I have it right. He's a fraud. I have it right here.
fine. I can cut all this out.
Leave some of it in. I don't care. They were like, he's a hot mess just like me. But
You go find your new husband right here.
my ambitious goal for this week is one of my friends, he sent me a script that was in Spanglish. And so I tweaked it, I edited it because like Spanish isn't his, like he's learning Spanish. So I speak
Okay.
Spanish as well. So my ambitious goal is to actually shoot it because he has like a great camera and he's really into, cinematography, is to shoot it this weekend and have an awesome clip. So that is my
Yes.
ambitious goal this week.
Yes, we need to do clips.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh, I need to send a message out to the group and ask if anybody wants to get together and do some clips. I actually was thinking about this the other day. Gosh dang, I
yeah, you
should have.
sent me a message. If I told you, I know I'm not in LA, but I'm
Oh,
more than happy to
did I
come.
ask you?
Yeah, you
I
asked
did,
me.
huh? Okay, because I was thinking about it and I was like, I really should, make my clips a little bit better. Maybe do
Yeah.
some shoots like on location. Because
Uh,
actually, when you guys did that clip on location a couple weeks ago, I saw that and I was like, it's inspired me. It planted a seed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get with some people and get on location and do it.
So that same friend that you saw I did that clip with, he's the one that
Okay.
he's the one that I'm doing this with again, but with his brother. So,
Okay.
and yeah, I mean, like we did that in probably like an hour or two.
Oh my gosh,
It was so
amazing.
quick and easy, and when you're working with people you like, obviously it's fun.
Yeah. And then
So
when you get on a groove and you go, because you really only need like 3 or 4 clips, you know what I mean?
yeah,
You could knock those out in one day if
exactly.
you're really on track.
It's fun. It's great practice, and you get to collaborate with other people, and
Yes.
you know.
And then maybe you could direct some of them and then you could,
Mhm.
we could put it up on IMDb. Why not?
Yeah,
As a
exactly.
short film.
Exactly. Oh, I just get excited to do all this stuff.
Okay, yes, that's our ambitious goal for the
Yeah,
month. How about that?
for the month, for the
For the month. Because we gotta plan a little bit for that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I just want to leave this. I want to leave this with everybody. Is like your timing is your timing. Don't compare yourself to other people, to what they got going on, because whatever is for you will not pass you. And always, always respond to the weird Facebook post. Because if I never would have responded to this one weird Facebook post about some obscure little role, I never would have ended up on the big screen at the movie theater and been a movie star. Not once, but twice.
Words from the horse's mouth right there. Great advice. And don't ever quit.
Don't ever
Don't
quit.
quit.
Don't
Take a
ever quit.
break, take a breather, don't quit.
Exactly. And believe in
Don't quit.
yourself and believe in yourself. And what is my mantra? Let others tell you no, but always tell yourself yes.
Love it.
Yes.
And you guys will get all this and more on Gabe's podcast because it really is so great. I've had so much fun with you today. Like, I want to do this again. Can we do it again? And
Absolutely.
then we'll just do like a whole like reality episode or something.
Yes, absolutely.
Leave all the seriousness out the door and just let's have a good time.
We'll have a glass. I don't know if you drink, but we'll have a glass of wine and we'll just.
Yeah, I do have me some wine. I have a wine. I'll have me a wine.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you so much, Diana. It's an honor for me to be on your podcast. This has been amazing. It's been so much fun. You're amazing. Your podcast is amazing. Diana King her last name is King, but she is a queen in the best possible amazing way.
You are an amazing friend, first off.
Yes,
like you are such a good friend. You really are a good friend. And I thank you for that. And I think your podcast is amazing too. I really do. I go and subscribe, you guys. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Stay on when I hang up. Thank you guys for joining another episode. I know this was a long one, but I thank you so much for all your support. And I hope that I'm inspiring everybody week after week. Yeah. So thanks. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye.